So Mandy,
Yeah.
I have a question. As an artist, as a musician, the one thing that's really important to me is to have a support system. Because I feel like I'm scaling this huge mountain and I don't want to be at it alone.
Right.
I don't want to do this alone. So I have my support system, people that I can count on, that I can say, hey, what do you think of this? Or can you help me here? Or do you need help? How important is it on a mental health level to have this system in place?
Well, support systems are really vital to our well-being for lots of reasons. I mean, one, like as humans, we're pack animals, you know, so we travel in packs. That's why we have families. That's why we have our group. And so we're already wired for connection in that way. But there's so much research and studies on how people who don't have social support and don't have a community around them experience more loneliness and depression, actually die earlier, get heart disease earlier. So I mean, it's in our biology,
right,
to have connections and support with people. Now, this can go one of two ways though, because if your support system ends up being negative or toxic, but they're the only ones that you have around you, and so therefore you kind of just stick with them, that actually may be leading to more anxiety or toxicity within yourself that isn't helpful. And so it can kind of have the adverse effect in that way. But overall, if you can create, you know, people around you to encourage you and support you, it's actually going to serve you better in the long run.
Right. And then another thing I think of is like when you have this support system, I as an artist always feel like just in the business in general, it's so important that there's a balance. That you're not doing everything for me and I'm just taking. Right. There has to be that mutual relationship. And when there's not, I feel like that's where it can get really negative. How do we, I guess how do we notice when someone in our life is maybe not a positive influence, and then how do we get rid of that person without pissing them off?
Right, right.
That's the question, right?
Yeah.
Because I see that a lot. Like being in the music industry, sometimes you take what you can get.
Sure. Yeah.
You know?
Well, I think it's going to require a level of you stepping back and evaluating, how do I feel around this person? Because your body is going to pick up on signals before it even makes it to your brain. You know, the whole like, you can feel the vibe, feel the energy in the room. This is like a real thing. And so you're going to be able to sense tension within yourself. And that's the time to kind of step back and evaluate, where is this coming from? Is it coming from this person? Yeah,
Right.
I feel like I have to prep myself before I go into a conversation, or I feel like I'm walking on eggshells, or anything like that. Then you're going to start to kind of consider, well, is this a conversation I can have with this person? And try to communicate first.
Okay.
You know, because that person may not have bad intentions.
Right, they may not know any better.
You know, everyone operates out of their own stuff.
Right.
You know, and then try to have a conversation about how you're feeling, what you're needing, see if it can go both ways. But then if it continues to be negative, then that's going to be a time to start setting boundaries.
Right.
And that may look like distancing yourself. That may look like being very direct and saying, I can't have these conversations anymore. I can't do these things anymore. It's not good for my health, my well-being. And then in certain drastic changes or situations, you may have to completely cut them off. And know that it's not for punishment or to shame, but it's for your own well-being.
Right. So I guess like the takeaway here from all of this is that sorry for that loud noise, is that support systems are super important, especially in a creative space, I feel like, because everything we're doing is so personal that sometimes we need those people that are looking outside in with really good intentions, but it has to be the right support system, it has to be positive, you have to take a step back, and you can't feel guilty for looking out for yourself.
No, not at all.
So
positive people will give you more energy, and it'll be more fulfilling in your life.
And they'll help you grow. So that's what we got today. Bye.